Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is the Code Mage, and I'm building a fantasy console in C# for fun. So that's what I'm doing today. I started yesterday. I had 2 streams in yesterday, and continue with it today. So please like and subscribe, all that stuff. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna get right into it. So, where I left off yesterday, I believe, all I was able to do is get a hello world type thing going on with inverted text and everything there. So, still have a long ways to go with this. I'm not sure why this looks a little weird in terms of, I think I gotta switch this so it's a different color so I can actually see where the end edge is. I guess that's not too bad. It should be. Yeah, that should be all right. So this is the actual screen area that gets displayed, and then, as you can tell, the text here. I feel like I almost should have a love border where the text cells actually go in a layer. Graphics mode can go to the edge, but for text mode, it really doesn't make too much sense to do that like this. But that is something I will do in the future. Why did that? Is Alice Blue that light? Let's go back to the standard cornflower. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we're able to display text just by pumping into the text buffer the character cells with the values that we want here. So now I need to think about building an API around this. And then I can start building like the baseline operating system that gives you menus and like a file system and all that kind of stuff. So let's see here. How are we going to do this? So there's a program that gets loaded in here that needs to have access to the oh, just 1 second. What's up?
Are you busy?
I'm not been too busy
before I have to record it.
Okay.
Of it being done.
You didn't have to do this one?
No, I didn't have to do this one, or this one, or this one.
Okay, so you just had to do these.
Yeah, these are from yesterday, and today's is available, but I tried my best for available.
Okay. Your name there.
Huh?
What's your name there?
It's fine. She said do it wherever you can.
Okay. So.
I know these are right because it actually tells us.
98. Yep. Nearest 100. Yep. Yep. Is that 3? Yep.
Yeah.
7 and 2 is 9. 4. Yeah, these look all good, honey.
Okay.
Good job.
Yes. Today I don't have to do these, so I just like.
Why don't you do them anyways?
Okay, I'll do them when Mom gets home. I just don't want to do them right now.
Okay.
She tells me to do extra work anyway, so.
All right. Well, we'll do it we'll look it over at 11. Okay. Hey, could you close the door? Sorry about that. That's just my daughter. Come in. She's got school, obviously, and I'll be stopping at 11 to kind of go over stuff. So, what exactly is a fantasy console? If the best description of it, how to describe it? You kind of have to. It's really something you have to experience, but Pico 8 is probably fantasy computers, another way to put it. It's basically like a game engine, but it's very constrained. Pico 8's the most popular one, I guess, that's out there. And I've got a copy of Pico 8, but yeah, I'm not sure how well that's coming over, but probably fairly loud. But basically, it's a game creation tool. When you have Pico 8, you would start it up and it boots into kind of like a command line similar to like what you'd get with a thanks. Similar to what you would see with like an Apple II or some kind of retro stuff. So I have not tried Game Boy Studio, but I've seen it plenty of times on itch, and it looks really fantastic. Hey Scott, how you doing? But I think this is maybe more along the lines of what I'm trying to do. The vision that I have for mine is to you launch this tool and it's got a basic menu system and stuff like that that you can go through. And then when you edit something, really what it's going to do is take the current state and it's going to launch an API, like a web API. And it's going to launch a browser so that with some minimal tool implementations that you can use to edit stuff. With the idea then that people should be able to just build web-based tools or any tool that can integrate with an API to do all of the editing and stuff that they want to do into it, and or just fire up hooks. And web API might not be the best way to do that, but I think it'll be the way that I start. So, but right now I'm kind of going based off of what I had done for and I gotta figure out why this does this in MonoGame, a fantasy console game jam back in, man, when was this? 2017. I started working on this. I called it like FC 85, I think, and this is FC 360. And then, sorry, one more sec.
You're still working.
Yep.
You working?
What's up?
Okay. I need you to help me with this. What do it mean, 3 rivers?
Which 3 rivers on this map flow into the Mississippi River? So if you look at the Mississippi River, there's 3 other rivers that connect up with it. Which ones are they? Yep.
This one. This one.
Yep. And
this one.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. You're a little high-pitched whine too. That's my dog. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to build it kind of similar to this, which was based off of the TI-83 calculator. Now the one that I built here was more constrained. It was smaller screen resolution, and it only had the 2 colors, so 1-bit color. This one I'm allowing 16, and obviously I'm going to have a different way of editing stuff. I never actually completed this other than just being able to go through and edit things. Or go through the menu system. So I'm starting with that point and I'm going to build it up from there. But what I need to do now is think about how does this program actually interface with the what is effectively the character or the text API. So I'm going to create a and a lot of this stuff is I'm just gonna hack it out and then I'm gonna figure out later how it should be structured, because I don't have a really good idea off the top of my head what it should actually do. So here I need a reference to the so actually I just need a reference to memory. I might not even need that. Might just need the text buffer. so things that you might need with a text API. Obviously, you need to print or display text at a certain location. I'm going to probably pull from the TI-83 API. I think they use a display command, and that would just do a print. But I don't know if you could do it at a specific place. Oh yeah, output. So with something like the console in C#, you put your cursor in a place and then you would print to it. I think I'm going to try, just for now, accomplishing what I had done here. Got to think about what happens if we go outside of the realm of the length of the thing as well. Should have an optional invert here. This is obviously a little bit dangerous in terms of, you know, if you output the text and it goes beyond the bounds of the limit here, what should happen? Theoretically, it should just wrap. But does this handle the wrapping, or does the text buffer itself? I mean, in theory, the memory should be laid out such that this is, even though you're saying X, Y, you're really, you know, now I guess if you put the output down here and you say printed, it's almost like you need a virtual buffer versus what's actually printed. But I guess we can cross that bridge when we get to it. We don't have to solve all the problems right up front. All right, so what we will do, there's going to be a series of APIs that are allowed, you know, granted to the program to okay. So we'll pass that in there, and then that is how it'll get access to the overall structure. So program will then take an instance of this. It's kind of a deal. So it should have hello world again. Nope. What did I do? Didn't set something. Wait, what was that error? Oh, our favorite, why we don't use nullable stuff. Oh, mem is null at this point in time. That would explain a lot. Of operations. All right, so now what do I need to do? I should just get this so that it's stuck at a particular size. So that's the start of how I'll do the API stuff for this. I wonder if this should really be like API display.text output, or if I should make it an upper level. Well, I can change it level or later. Blah. I'm just thinking about changing display mode because I would be like, or set display mode. Again, I'm going to draw some inspiration from vi83. So it's just done. How to cheat with a TI-83 plus. Nice. I'll keep it at this level then first, but all right. I think what I'll try to do at this point is to recreate this kind of setup here. I'm not going to use play. I'll use a word like run or progs or something like that. So maybe because I've got more vertical space in this one, I can put the title on the top and then tabs, and then do the menu as like a third rung. So you'd have this probably, you know, all across the top. So you'd have this across the top, and then you'd have oh my gosh, this isn't gonna be right, but something like progs here. You know, it'd be probably pretty close. Is using press start player 2. Something like that. This would be highlighted, and you'd have like stuff like that you would go through, and these would be highlighted each individually. Now I could have an edit menu here, or I could make it so that to start there's just progs and sys would have stuff like shutdown and at least to start, maybe settings or something like that. When you select one of these, I think what would happen is you would go to another menu. So what would happen is, oh, that's not exactly white. Interesting. So say you had selected game 1, that would show up at the top here. And then it's your second level. I don't think you'd have any tabs for this, so you could just go directly into a menu like this. That's it. Like that. So then we hit run, or sorry, edit. Run would just run it as it is, but when you hit edit, I think what would happen is I'm just gonna get all of this out of here. It would come up with a screen like TST. Go figure. Something along the lines of in here would be like it would launch your web browser. Something like this. So then what would happen is, again, this would actually, you could probably configure which browser to run, I'm thinking. By default, it would probably just launch whatever default browser you have. And it would be in this mode, and then I'd have to have something like, I guess I'd have to have some way to escape out of it, right? This would be like, press escape to exit. I don't know. Something like that, anyways. So I think this is the flow that I kind of would want to put together. Oh, I need a way to make a new one as well. I think that's one of these ones that I might have in here too. You know, like that. An option. Anyways, so you click new, and then you could enter the name, and then I think what would happen at that point is it would run into this edit immediately. Probably provide some sort of boilerplate game that just, you know, not game, but program that just says empty or, you know, to do or whatever, or instructions to go to the menu and edit it. I need to flesh out this, so what I want to do So one of the things that's kind of interesting about this is I could take this off here, and I could choose on this one to invert the range. I want a function or an API to invert a range of text, so I could say from, you know, here to here, invert everything. I also need something to like get they're constants, but I wonder if I should provide it by a function or not. I want to get the width of the text so that I know, or the character cell. Like that. So do something like this: API text invert range, starting at character cell 0, 0 and going to 0. Something like that, I think, is what I would want. So we need to provide Oh, I'm still running. That's why it's freaking out at me. Okay. Toy. I'm assuming that would be inclusive. Yeah. So otherwise it would break. Question is, if you call invert range and it's already inverted, should it uninvert? How do you remove a flag? So you would want to clear a flag. I suppose I would just recreate it at this point. So if there's other flags, I would want to like do an inverted. This would be so much easier just to look up your flag. Never had to do this before. Yeah, so and a bitwise not of that. Huh. So if it has it, then it's a bitwise not of invert. And there's probably a better way to do this. So if I've done this right, it should blow up. No. Not sure what happened there. Oh. There we go. X is 32. And obviously this shouldn't be that way, because if you set the max, this shouldn't really be a 2. It should be like a count. Or it should be balls. So I'd say the buffer would be 1 row. Cool, that inverts a range, which is what I want. All right. The next bit would be to get the tabs in place. So I'm going to make a so this is like a menuing system. Call it a menu. Whoa, that was odd. I don't think I had my hand on the D key. That was odd. So the menu API depends on the text API. And in here then, I go back to the sys API, text API gets that. Then, so in this here, I would go API. Maybe something like create. And then I would give it a title. So I think how this will be structured is that the API to this will be if you provide a so the interesting about tabs is that I don't know how I would get so the new menu actually needs to collect data. So it's not really like a standard. I believe if I look at the way that I structured this for new, let me see if I have that in here. Oh, no, it was a menu. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it's literally just a list of options that you go through all the time. So that's what I'll kind of stick to. So if you provide only one tab, then it will display like this, where the it won't display the tabs in the header. If you provide more than one tab with menu options for those tabs, then it'll display the tabs as the first row with the options underneath each tab as you select them. So you use the arrow keys to swap between your selection, and then left and right for tabs, and then up and down for menu options. I think that all makes sense. So this needs the concept of a you'll have a tab, which is basically just a collection. Will be fixed at any given time, so it should just be an array of options, right? Okay, so this will have the title and way to enumerate through the menu options. This needs to have a name, and then somehow I've got to have like a tag or something to indicate maybe a tag or an index, which I'll come back to. I'm just going to focus on rendering it at this point. Figure out the behavior later in terms of actually getting it to trigger some value. Okay, so that's the how you construct a create a title. You always need to have a title. Or do you? So it could make it so that if you only need to provide a title in the event that your tab that you want a title. I like the idea of a title, I think. So I wonder if this is an object you create or if you just feed it and it holds on to it. Because in theory it has to redraw it every time. Yeah, I think I need to make a class. So when you create oops, what am I doing? It's done. So the question is, do I even need this API if this is just a class? Well, no, I still need to have something probably to do something like not create, but something like draw when I pass the menu. It's not really draw. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I'll once I get all of the APIs kind of decided on, I'll go through and try to make terminology consistent and take a second stab at actually designing it. So So the operating system is really a glorified menu. Menu dot output. So in this case, it would be. Oh, I should build a Fluent API to deal with this. Wouldn't that be fun? So it's more like you do something like menu, goes new menu, give the title, and add the tab. I'll just do it this way for now. Things I think is what I was gonna use. I guess I could say programs. Products make sense. And options for that need to be loaded. Just gonna do this for now. You know, the thing I don't like about doing it like that is that if you want to add new things, you have to remember to move your parenthesis down. And then tab. Yeah, maybe that's fine. I need the concept of like keeping track of where the cursor is in this. Put at cursor X, Y. I'll probably put these together in a class later, but so really I want to set of Y, or I want rather. So I put it at X, and then I text title. Come on. Yeah, this does have to be mutable, doesn't it? Well, I guess I could recreate the menu every time, but it doesn't kind of make sense to do that. Then I need cursor to x to be dot equals tab title plus 1 for the space. And I gotta figure out this output. If it goes outside the bounds, I'm gonna have to deal with this where it will actually just ignore it or wrap it, depending. Maybe I can set that as a thing. But anyways. Should the tab know that it's selected? You can't technically have more than one selected tab, so that's not a property of the tab. It's more like it's a property of the menu. Save code here, that's fine. Okay. I'll just check progress here. We got about 15 more minutes before I'm going to change this. My S key sometimes does that. Well, I do control save and then it pops it in there. Wow. Oh, so it inverts it, and then the next time there's not like a clear in between, so it's actually just keeps modifying back and forth the yeah. Oof. I need to make it so that when this draw happens, there's a much needed clear that occurs. The question is, do I clear the... So there's a couple ways to do this. I mean, I could clear out all the character buffer and then rebuild it every time, every frame, which is what I'm doing here. I probably should, right? I can optimize this later. Should probably be one of the... Oh, that's not useful. Put that on the buffer itself, because actually, no, I won't. Keep these relatively simple in terms of their just data as best as possible. And I'll put in these APIs all the actual less than I really just need to make like a something to do this for There's probably something I'm already missing. Again, this is not how I write business code. Just clear it. Those are structs, so I just need to set it back to default. Now when I do this, it shouldn't flash like that. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna do something with the color maybe later. Again, this will have more than just 2-bit color. It's 16, but for now this works. And then I need to have 1, 2, 3. I needed the options displayed below. Yeah, I don't like how the highlighting is working with this though. Because there's a lot of like light, and then so this is 0 really should be highlighted as well. I guess it's not too bad. That now. So this only needs to be inverted if it's the selected option. And I could make that a function of the tab itself, probably, just like I did with new option, selected option. There's some complicated stuff that gets into this though, because I'm gonna also have to figure out, you know, what happens when you have more menu options than you have space to display them. I think I had all this stuff figured out before, so it's not too complicated. Yeah. I also should provide a case here where if there is nothing, no menu options, what you do. Although maybe the system won't allow that, I don't know. But now I should be able to click, I'm gonna have to run here pretty soon, but I should be able to make it so that I can, you know, tab over to new and tab over to sys, and then select those options and have the menu options below them pop, as well as do the up and down arrows to select the various menu options underneath, which to start aren't any. I need to have this progs actually loaded from a list of program menus. So there's a lot of work to do, and I'll probably get back at it at maybe around noonish. So for now, I will save this up to GitHub quick. And for those of you who haven't checked back, this is at my GitHub account. So right here, S. Rakowski FC360. So if you want to follow along there, feel free. But I think I'm going to take off for now. Again, I'll probably be back on noonish. So thanks for watching, and subscribe please, and like and hit notify. So ciao.